in you. Look, you should have known better than to pick a fight with the Bonnes. Of course, if you agree to become one of my servants, I suppose I could forgive you.
Yo! Here we are. This is originally how I envisioned this project. I wanted to do all 3 games in one video. The only thing is, well, I knew this was going to take a long time to make, and, you know, it's a pretty long video now that I'm done with it. Now, the 3 games I'll be going over in this review are Mega Man Legends, The Misadventures of Tron Bonne, and Mega Man Legends 2. Now, there will be spoilers in this video. I will have warning, it'll look exactly like this. Okay, now on to the spoilers. There will also be timestamps so you'll know when to skip to, so, you know, if you want to see the next review, but, you know, you don't want anything spoiled. So, let's start with the first game, Mega Man Legends! Let's go! Mega Man Legends was originally released in Japan as Rockman Dash on December 18th, 1997. Dash is an acronym, well, because of course it is. And it is De Gouter's adventure stories in the Halcyon Days.
First B stand for.
What are we doing?
We're making acronyms.
Moving on. Next released in North America is Mega Man Legends on August 31st, 1998, and released in PAL territories on December 4th, 1998. Creator of Mega Man, Keiji Inafune worked as a producer on Legends, and in the same role for The Misadventures of Tron Bonne, as well as Mega Man Legends 2. Keiji Inafune wanted to make a Mega Man game unlike any other, blending RPG elements into a 3D adventure game. Well, for sure he was successful. Mega Man Legends' original working title was Mega Man Neo. I feel like that title works. Mega Man Nova was apparently something Capcom almost named the game too. Legends is a very different kind of Mega Man. Hell, this is a very different Mega Man. His name in the series is Mega Man Walnut. While I don't believe it's been confirmed, Legends takes place in the very distant future of the Mega Man universe, long after Mega Man, the X series, and even the Zero games. In the distant future, the world's sea levels rise, or as the intro says it,
in a world covered by endless water.
Mega Man Walnut is a digger. Diggers go through ancient ruins looking for refractors and artifacts. Mega Man was raised by Professor Barrel, alongside the professor's granddaughter, Roll. Wait, Barrel Roll? Okay.
Do a barrel roll!
Then there's Data. He's a robo-monkey. He's your save point, and he dances. There was supposed to be one more crew member. Her character model is used in the hospital. Mega Man was also supposed to have a rival. His character model is used for a random digger that can be found all over Cadillacs Island at different points in the game. The crew of 4 travel in their ship the Flutter. They search the world looking for ancient ruins. The story begins with Mega Man in one of said ruins. He's able to find a large refractor, and then is attacked by a huge Reaverbot. Reaverbots are defenders of these ancient ruins.
Back for more?
See ya! Hold on! We're taking off!
Roger!
Mega Man is able to escape and board the Flutter. After escaping, the Flutter has engine trouble and crash lands on Cadillacs Island. Then the cops come to investigate, but why does the inspector sound like this?
Quite a show. But it looks like everyone's all right. Let me welcome you to Cadillacs Island.
Know your role and shut your mouth!
Our boy Mega Man shows up at the right time. The Bonne family, which are a group of pirates, are invading Cadillacs Island, looking for a treasure that is supposed to be inside one of the city's ruins.
We're the Bonnes! We're pirates!
The Bonne family is led by Teasel Bonne, then there's the baby brother Bonne Bonne, and their sister Tron Bonne. The Bonne family have an army of Lego men looking robots called Servbots. The Bonnes serve as antagonists for most of the game. Mega Man battles them many times throughout the story. Our hero's main objective is to go plunging into the depths of the labyrinths beneath Cadillacs Island. Mega Man Legends is a 3D adventure game. The island of Cadillacs and its ruins open up to you pretty quickly. Cadillac City is pretty big too, with different districts. It's a fairly large place to explore. Mega Man is similar to his counterparts as far as being dressed in blue, running, jumping, and blasting enemies with his buster. Moving the blue bomber. Wait, is he still the blue bomber? Moving Mega Man around feels a little weird at first. This game doesn't have analog support. It was designed for the OG PlayStation controller. You move forward and backwards with up and down. Left and right make you side strafe. L1 and R1 are to turn left and right. I ended up changing my controls. Once you get the hang of running and jumping, controlling Mega Man feels great. Except when trying to collect all the money and health orbs exploding from enemies. For the most part, I didn't have too much of an issue with this the more I played. Mega Man's trusty buster is also Walnut's weapon of choice. It starts off pretty weak, but as you collect more weapon upgrades, it becomes crazy powerful. He also has special weapons. Each of these have limited ammo, but are much more powerful than your buster. Some, like the drill arm, are needed to destroy walls while exploring the gates. The good thing is, all of these are upgradable as well. Mega Man also gets upgrades himself. He'll eventually get boots that allow him to super jump. He also gets the ability to dash, making getting around much faster. Definitely helps with backtracking. He even gets a helmet to complete the look. You'll be doing battle with the earlier mentioned Bonds, but mostly you'll be fighting Reaver bots. These come in a variety of shapes and sizes. There are multiple gates to get underground. These are all the game's dungeons. Eventually you can get all these gates to connect. Most of your money will be spent at the junk store. This is where you'll find buster parts, armor upgrades, health upgrades, and other gear. There's even an upgradable energy canteen. That's really the only health item you can carry with you. Legends also has missions throughout the game. These change things up. There aren't a ton of these, but they are fun. In the first mission, you'll have to protect Cadillac City from the Bonds. Whatever gets destroyed, you'll have to pay for if you want to see all these buildings repaired. You'll need to do this to access certain side quests. There's also a karma system. Depending on Mega Man's actions, his suit will become lighter or darker. For instance, repairing the city will make your suit lighter. Commit crimes or shoot server bots while they're running away, and you'll get darker. There's a side quest later that can instantly turn your suit black. Apparently 2 server bots robbed a bank. After destroying their car, a briefcase full of money flies out. If you decide to keep it, Mega Man's suit turns black. The townspeople will say they're afraid of you if you listen at their doors. Turns out those server bots took out a loan to start a restaurant. Oops, my bad. Then there's a television station. The TV show Dangerous Games has 3 challenges for Mega Man to compete in for money and items. Now bosses. Legends has quite a few, mostly large Reaver bots. For a lot of these you just need to keep strafing and shooting. You'll also be battling the Bonds multiple times. Mega Man Legends has a great look. Very colorful graphics and the art style make it feel like you're playing an anime. Facial expressions change and almost look cel-shaded at times. The game's graphics still look good today. This game also has tons of details that really bring this world to life. The first one of these I always seem to notice is the clouds moving. Dials and computer screens are animated. There are so many details all over this game. It really goes a long way. It's probably one of the reasons I love coming back to Cadillac's Island. Cadillac City looks great. There are so many places to visit that have no... Wait, did he just say a VCR? Wow. So as I was saying before I was distracted by townsperson B wanting to buy a VCR, there are a lot of places to visit for Mega Man that have no function. All these shops and such make the city seem like such a real place. VCR, you're a funny guy, townsperson B.
Yeah, that's right. I want a VCR. You want to fight about it?
There's a CD shop where you can listen to music samples. These aren't the soundtrack. They made original tracks that you can only hear in the shop. There's also Akbar Toy Store.
It's a trap!
No, but Mega Man Legends is on sale here. Enemy and boss design is really good. Reaver bots are quite varied. The textures look great too. So much detail on all these enemies, once again making you feel like you're playing an anime. Now the soundtrack is alright, there are some catchy tunes, and I like a lot of the music store samples, but overall it's nothing special. For the most part, it works for the game.
Roll! We're flying! We're flying!
Well, I still have a lot of work left, but we should be able to get around the island at least.
Voice acting isn't half bad. Mega Man's voice suits him, unlike Mega Man Legends 2, but we'll get there. Anyway, the cast does a good job. Tron is probably my favorite.
Do you know what you've done? Huh? You're a lot dumber than you look. You should have known better than to pick a fight with the Bonnes. Of course, if you agree to become one of my servants, I suppose I could forgive you. It's more
But you can't forget the Servbots. These little guys are funny. They seem too innocent to be pirates.
right?
Right, we understand. You need to keep your costs and risks as low as possible and stay on schedule.
Okay, now on to the spoilers. After Mega Man and crew crash land on Cadillac's Island, they're greeted by the police. Professor Barrel goes with them to get ID cards so they can all enter the city.
Now, I'd like to ask one of you to come with me to the station.
Immediately after gaining access to the city, Mega Man encounters Tron Bonne.
What are you looking at?
Mega Man sees Tron getting chased by a dog, so he decides to save her. Mega Man's able to shoo the dog off, and then wouldn't you know it, Tron Bonne starts to fall in love with Mega Man.
You just mind your own business.
Shortly afterwards, the city is under attack by the Bonne family. Mega Man battles his way through downtown to get to City Hall. It's even being broadcast on the news.
And now, that same boy has come through the gate and is heading towards City Hall. Wait! There he is! I can see him! He really is alone!
Mega Man is able to save the city, or in my case, not so save the city. In my defense, what would they have done if Mega Man never showed up? Immediately after defeating Tron and Bonne Bonne, Mega Man learns that Teasel is trying to dig up one of the subgates. Mega Man defeats Teasel, and he takes it pretty hard.
Master Teasel, are you alright? Master Teasel?
Then the mayor of Cadillac City asks Mega Man to explore the caves and dungeons on the island. There's a myth that every 100 years the population of Cadillacs is wiped out. Their city walls are from a previous settlement. Roll smashes through the gate and they're able to enter the first dungeon. Mega Man is able to get the first refractor pretty easily. Mega Man next heads to the gate on the lake. While he searches for a boat. What's this? So it turns out Wily's a cool dude. He lets Mega Man and Roll use his boat. They use the refractor they found earlier to fix it. Before they can enter the ruins though, they have to defeat the Bonnes. It's in the gate on the lake that Mega Man finds a refractor big enough to repair the flutter. With the flutter up and running, the crew can now fly to the gate that Teasel was trying to dig up. Here Mega Man finds a control room. When he gets it started, he opens the main gate in the center of the island. Now after leaving the ruins, Mega Man is attacked by the Bonnes again. Surprise! Mega Man and Roll are able to defeat them yet again, this time destroying their ship in the process.
They did eject, didn't they?
I don't think so.
Maybe we should have taken it easier on them.
Once inside, Mega Man learns he needs 3 keys to proceed further into the main gate. He's able to activate smaller gates that have the keys inside. While he's searching, he finds the Bonnes having a pizza party.
Teasel, you better not be eating that entire pizza yourself. Huh? Do you know what happened to us thanks to you? I thought I was going to die! Huh?
You're alive! That's wonderful!
What?
Mega Man and the Bonnes have one final showdown. After beating the Bonnes and collecting all 3 keys, Mega Man proceeds down into the depths of the main gate. Here Mega Man finds a strange door. He awakens Mega Man Juno. Juno tells Mega Man that he's a purifier model designated Mega Man Trigger. Juno awakens every 100 years and wipes out any civilization on the island. Mega Man tries to stop Juno. Juno traps Mega Man and then heads off.
It's a trap!
Of all the people to help Mega Man, it's Tron and Tron Bonne.
Oh, this? Like this! Mega Man, are you all right?
Mega Man is ready for his duel with, well, Mega Man.
It cannot be deactivated as long as I, the master key of this island, remain here in this control room. All that remains now is to wait for Aiden to enter transmission range and send the command to execute the reinitialization of this island.
After defeating Juno, Mega Man isn't able to stop the countdown to the destruction of Cadillacs Island. Then suddenly, Data speaks, and he sounds exactly how I'd expect him to.
Interrupt command. Priority command rerouted to Purifier First Class Mega Man Trigger. Under suspicion of malfunction, Bureaucratic Model Third Class Juno has been deactivated by Mega Man Trigger as per Ordinance 103.
Mega Man stored all his memories in Data, and then wiped his own. Data said he'll tell Mega Man who he is some other time. The island is saved, and now Mega Man has a lot of questions about himself. The crew needs to get going pretty quickly, but Mega Man is able to say goodbye to everyone he helped. Anyone you helped in side quests will be here too. Then our heroes fly off to get back to their original objective before this whole story unfolded. The Bonds, however, didn't leave empty-handed.
Whoa! Roll left! Left! Huh? Okay.
I absolutely love playing through this game again. Mega Man Legends successfully pulls off Mega Man in 3D. It's different, sure, but it's one hell of an adventure. Physical prices are pretty high, but it's only $10 on the PS3. It's a hassle to buy PS3 games now. This game's worth it though. That was Mega Man Legends. Now, Mega Man Legends sold pretty well. It actually got a greatest hits version. There's just one very big issue with the game. It's the first attempt at a 3D Mega Man game. So if you can forgive that, you're in store for a great adventure. Now, we're going to go on to the misadventures of Tron Bonne. This one is one of my favorite games of all time. My favorite characters in the Mega Man Legends trilogy were Tron and the Servbots. So, a whole game about them? Of course I'm on board. Let's go ahead and get this one started!
The Misadventures of Tron Bonne!
The Misadventures of Tron Bonne was first released in Japan on July 22nd, 1999 as Tron ni Kobu. This release had Pocket Station support. Anyone remember the Pocket Station? I mean, well, it didn't come out here, but... Anyway, next released in North America on April 30th, 2000, and in PAL territories on June 16th, 2000. This game also included a Mega Man Legends 2 demo. Japan got a special demo while the rest of us got a more traditional one. I honestly don't remember being blown away by this one. Then again, 2000 was a long time ago. Once again produced by Mega Man creator Keiji Inafune, The Misadventures of Tron Bonne is a prequel to Mega Man Legends. This time focusing on, well, The Misadventures of Tron Bonne.
The treasure we've been looking for is in there! If you don't get it, I'll have to punish you all! Yes, Miss Tron!
Our story begins with Tron completing construction on the Bonne family's airship, the Gesellschaft. Well, not really complete, but we'll get there. Tron Bonne, Tron's older brother, told Tron that money was not an issue. However, he said they need to recoup their funds. Tron has found the location of the legendary treasure, Diana's Tear. Tron wants to go along, but Tron refuses, telling her that she's done enough by building the ship. Tron, along with Bonne Bonne and some Servbots, head to the Nakai Desert. We get a tutorial with Tron. Overall control-wise, it plays better than Legends 1. Moving is much easier, and locking on works better. It's not perfect, but it's an improvement. Before they can enter the gate holding Diana's Tear, they're attacked by Glide. Glide has come to collect on the 1 million Zenny loan that Tron borrowed from Mr. Loaf. Tron doesn't have the Zenny, so he tries to fight Glide.
Not bad. I'd expect no less from the leader of the Bonne family. But not quite good enough.
Then Tron and Bonne Bonne are defeated and taken by Glide to Mr. Loaf. Tron is informed by the Servbots that were with Tron and Bonne Bonne of what happened. Tron then sends the Servbots with her to find the receipt for the loan, and is shocked to learn that it's 1 million zenny.
Huh? 1 million zenny? What was Teasel doing with so much money?
Tron decides she's going to pay off the debt and rescue her brothers. And that's the story to get this game started. The game is broken up into missions. There are 3 different types: action, puzzle, and RPG. There's also an optional dungeon that's basically in the action category. These missions vary from bank robberies, to shipyard heists, to treasure hunting. First, let's go over action. This first stage opens up with Tron and the Servbots being dropped into a town to rob the bank.
It's full of dogs!
Wait a minute! This isn't the bank!
Oops, sorry. The bank's in the next town over.
Why is it always this way with you? Whenever I ask you to do something...
You have 3 minutes before they come to pick you up to return you to the Gesellschaft. This is a great intro stage. Combat works similar to Mega Man Legends. It does feel a little smoother. Tron's mech is very easy to control compared to Valnut's first outing. The Gustav, which is the name of Tron's mech, can fire from a buster that can be changed out for a machine gun and a rocket launcher. It can also jump and pick up large objects like cars and trees. It also has a special rocket to direct Servbots. The first house you send them into really shows what these little guys are up to when Tron isn't watching. The Servbots can also grab and rock large police vehicles and pull wheels and sirens off of police cars. It's important later to really take advantage of the Servbots' combat abilities. I'll go more in depth on this a little later. This first group of robbery missions are a real highlight of the game.
Okay, boys! Make sure you get all of it!
Yes, Miss Tron! Look, it's a piggy! A piggy! Oink, oink!
The next set of action stages are farm robberies. These really just feel like filler. While you do get some dialogue between Tron and the Servbots, there aren't any new characters in this section. It's not really interesting catching and stealing farm animals. The pigs and cows aren't too hard to catch, but forget the horses though. Probably the only part of the game that was more frustrating than anything. There are multiple types of robots trying to attack Tron and the Servbots while stealing the animals. There are some that once one of the Servbots jump on an animal, there are robots that activate and chase down the Servbot. They can only be destroyed while chasing the animal. If your Servbot is knocked off, the robots hunker down again. It isn't required to finish the farm missions to beat the game.
Alright, let's get to work! We're going to load those containers using the Gustav tank I modified for this kind of work.
Now the puzzle missions. In these missions you'll be stealing cargo. The Gustav has been refitted with treads and special arms for lifting cargo. The objective is to grab 4 green containers and throw them into Tron's ship. There's also 1 red bonus container. The red containers net you a large sum of zenny. Now the Gustav has some limitations. Of course it wouldn't be much of a puzzle otherwise. The tank can only lift large containers a total of 8 times. On top of that, it can only move 10 squares while holding these containers. I had a lot of fun while playing these missions. Later on these puzzles get more complex. Conveyor belts and cranes enter the mix. One Servbot joins Tron on these heists. He can be used to steal from buildings and operate machinery.
Okay, let's head back to the Gesellschaft.
Yes, Miss Tron! Hello there, Mr. Digger. It's nice weather we're having, isn't it?
Huh? Are you fellas diggers too?
Next is RPG. These are my personal favorites. This is where the Servbots truly shine. Tron doesn't accompany whichever 3 Servbots you choose for this mission. She follows them in a small robot, similar to a drone. You'll be treasure hunting, or digging as it's called in Legends. There's treasure worth lots of zenny in these caves. Commands are given to the Servbots from Tron's robot. There is some combat in these missions, so you'll really want to bring your best combat Servbots along. There are also a few puzzles to solve. Fully voiced NPCs are also looking for the treasure. The first character that Servbots will encounter is Dance.
If we push that blue switch, the trap should stop. Just you watch.
Servbots have pretty funny interactions with the interesting characters running around the caves. Los Crew also has their own version of Servbots known as Birdbots. They'll attempt to bully Tron's bots.
Miss Tron, we should get out of here!
Oh no! You're not going anywhere! Give up now! Arrgh!
The Servbots always find themselves regularly proving that they need supervision. For example, the Servbots had to make their way through a punishing trap to get a chest key. They offer the key to the first person they see.
Key? So that's what Vela's had.
No, not really. We'll give you this if you want it.
What? What do you think you're doing? You can't give that away!
These RPG missions are truly the best part of the game, and I just really wish there were more of them.
We did it, Miss Tron! Look! It's a giant refractor!
Wow! This stone must be worth at least 500,000 zenny!
There's a fourth mission where you continue Teasel's hunt for Diana's tear. This is also in the action category and completely optional. You do get some great items, and it's great to have an optional dungeon full of enemies and bosses, giving this mission more of a Mega Man Legends feel. The rocket launcher is a must if you want to finish the mission and beat the Guardian. You'll need to blow up the walls. Well, actually you can come and go, so you could bring a different weapon back with you. The rocket launcher is a little annoying that you can only fire it on the ground while standing still, but you can fire while jumping and side-strafing. Gustle Shaft is the base of operations in the game. Here's where you can talk to Servbots, send them on scouting missions, give them gifts, and train them. While navigating the Gustle Shaft, everything is very menu-based. There are 40 Servbots in total. To keep track of them, you can have numbers appear above all their heads. You can even give your favorite Servbot a special red top on their head. Talking to Servbots regularly is pretty important. Some have items that other Servbots need to discover their talent. Luckily, you don't have to figure this all out on your own. There's a Servbot in the cafeteria that has a keen eye for his siblings' talents. Once you get him the correct item, he can give you info on what Servbots need what training. As far as gifts, any items you receive can be taken to the appraiser. This little guy will tell you which items to sell, but he can also tell you which items are for certain Servbots. Gifts can not only help you discover the Servbots' talents, they can also be used in the R&D room, giving the Servbot engineers materials they will need to upgrade the Gustav. Also, health bottles are researched through items. Sending Servbots on scouting missions between your own will net you some items, including some that the Servbots need. Training the Servbots is done in the gym. There's a minigame that you throw bombs at targets with random citizens and main antagonists. There are a couple of power-ups in this too. The objective is hit the goal within the time limit. After completing a level, the goal goes up and the time limit stays the same. The Servbots get less clumsy as they level up in training. They trip and fall a lot at first. Then there's speed training. The last one was attack training. I forgot to mention that. Well, I'm mentioning it now. So anyway, this one is in the cafeteria. With this one there are 6 different dishes for Servbots to order. You have to serve them within the time limit. Once again, the goal increases and the time limit stays the same.
Spaghetti! Eat lunch! Curry rice! Spaghetti!
As you progress through the game, the Servbots complete more and more rooms on the Gustle Shaft. One of those is the deck where you get this little Titanic reference. If Servbots are misbehaving, they're taken to the torture room. You have to take part in a minigame. Once completed, the Servbots get their attitude adjusted.
The power and strength of Cena! Oh, the AA!
The game starts off fairly easy, but at the end it's a challenge. Presentation-wise, the Misadventures of Tron Bonne is bright and colorful. The game is very menu-based while out of missions. Graphically it's aged better than most. Pre-rendered backgrounds are used while in the Gustle Shaft. Character models look good and are animated well. Funny enough though, the main character is the only one of the main cast not to have a 3D model herself. The game is filled with charm, and it really shows in the art style. All conversations are done with pictures of characters and text on screen. Character portraits, facial expressions, and poses change. Just like Mega Man Legends, the Misadventures of Tron Bonne feels like you're playing an anime. This soundtrack has quite a few catchy tunes. I found myself humming the puzzle theme when I wasn't playing. It's another soundtrack that perfectly suits the game. I ended up listening to this one quite a bit outside of the game. Voice acting is good. Tron is at her best when she's frustrated with the Servbots. Speaking of the Servbots, they are just as much as a star in this game as Tron is. Whenever the Servbots are around in cutscenes, it's always entertaining. Here's something interesting I noticed about the soundtrack. As I was playing through the game, I started getting more and more Mega Man X4 vibes. I decided to look it up, and yep, it's the same composer. Mega Man X4 is one of my favorite video game soundtracks. I listened to it enough that I picked up on the style. Anyway, The Misadventures of Tron Bonne is a game I highly recommend if you still have a PS3. Now on to the spoilers! Where we left off, Tron was working on paying off her older brother Tiesel's debt. The Los had taken Tiesel and Bonne captive. The story overall doesn't have a lot to do with the main plot other than Tron is there to make money to save her brothers. That doesn't mean the story isn't a good one. We'll start with action. After running amok, robbing everything in sight, fighting the police, Officer Denise shows up. Tron makes fun of Denise for showing up late.
Have a little trouble getting up this morning, did we? Did your mommy have to wake you up?
Well, how did you... no, of course not.
Tron defeats her and continues mocking her.
Whatever. Better luck next time, huh? See you around.
In the next mission, the Servbots drop Tron back in front of the animal hospital again.
Huh? Wait a second. Isn't this... Sorry. We ended up in front of the animal hospital again. Don't you ever learn from your mistakes? How could you do this again?
Tron makes her way to the next town to rob the bank. Officer Denise shows up, and Tron teases her for being on time. I gotta say, Denise is some kind of super judo master being able to throw Tron's mech around like that. In the next mission, the police set up an ambush. After fighting her way back to the bank, Officer Denise shows up yet again. This time, she has a mech of her own. It looks oddly familiar. Tron defeats Denise and robs the bank again. This time Tron feels sorry for Denise because she knows she'll be in trouble. Tron then heads off, but not before saying sorry to Denise. Now there's also the farm, but there isn't much story other than Servbots being Servbots.
Do pigs bite? Can't you guys sit still and be quiet even for a few minutes?
Same thing basically goes for puzzle, so moving on to the RPG missions. These ones all take place in the Shalakun ruins. Tron is looking for the 3 Aurora Stones. Most of the story here is the Servbots interacting with all these characters. The Servbots get all 3 Aurora Stones over the course of 3 missions. They definitely had some help from the friends they made in the ruins. After Tron is able to get the million Zenny, she goes to Loth to pay the debt, and Loth says she has to pay interest.
Yes, there is. But there's this little thing called interest, you see. Let's see. With this much, I need another 2 million Zenny.
What?
Tron goes back with the amount asked for. I personally went back with $1 million more than asked for. Then he asks for interest on the interest.
Oh, wait, you serious? Let me laugh even harder.
I actually had that. Anyway, Tron is in prison with her brothers. The Servbots plan a prison break. The favorite Servbot leads the charge. After the Servbots bust the bonds out, Tron decides to take everything Loth has on the way out. They discover the Colossus that Loth had his captured diggers uncover. Then Glide attacks. Tron blows his flying mech away along with the bird bots. Loth then activates the Colossus. The bonds quickly rush back to the Gessel shaft. Loth opens fire on the Bond's airship, causing massive damage. Tron is injured and Tiesel is thrown overboard. Once again, it's the favorite Servbot to the rescue. They land the Gustav near the head of the Colossus. Against all odds, the Servbots are able to defeat Loth and destroy the Colossus. The Servbots also collect the refractor that powered the Colossus. Tron flies down to get Tiesel. She finds Loth and Glide in the middle of the ocean. Tron rescues them, then delivers them straight to Officer Denise, saving her job in the process. Shortly after that, the credits roll. What's this? The Bonds then decide it's time to get back to work. After the credits, Tiesel reveals he let himself get captured so Tron would save him. Yeah, sure. Our favorite Servbot goes to Tron to let him know if he finished his trash detail. You know what? Here it is.
The room was really heavy for some reason. Of course, you left alone the treasure box that the gold refractor was in, right? Huh? I threw out everything in the storage room. What do you think you're doing?
special waiting for you in the torture room!
Playing through the misadventures of Tron Bonne again was an absolute joy. The game has better controls than the first Mega Man Legends. This game is just such a fun adventure. If you have a PS3, pick it up. Well, the game, not your PS3. That was the misadventures of Tron Bonne. If there's only one game I could get you to pick from these three to actually play, it'd be the misadventures of Tron Bonne. You could definitely tell the developers had a lot of love and passion for the project. Also, these games are only $10 each on PSN, so if you have a PS3, they're pretty easy to get. Now, we go on to Mega Man Legends 2. This is the last game in the series, and it ends on a cliffhanger, which, really sucks. What are you gonna do? Well, now let's head on to the great game that is Mega Man Legends 2!
Mega Man Special Plan 3!
Do you think it will work?
Maybe it will, maybe it won't, but that doesn't mean we won't try.
Yes, Miss Tron.
Alright then, let's have some fun with Mega Man!
Mega Man Legends 2 was first released in Japan as Rockman-2 on April 20th, 2000. Next released in North America on October 25th, 2000, and released in Europe on August 3rd, 2001. Keiji Inafune once again spearheaded this project as a producer. At this point in time, Inafune had worked on all the games dating back to the original Mega Man on the NES. And yeah, that's the same Mega Man from Street Fighter Cross Tekken.
He's fat!
The Misadventures of Tron Bonne was released with a demo of Mega Man Legends 2 in all regions. Japan, however, received a special prequel demo in which Tron has been kidnapped and Roll and Mega Man must save her. I really wish we received that one over here. The story here is much more grand in scope than the firsts. The game's opening cutscene shows Professor Barrel and his friend Ron Blucher about to hold a press conference. Both Barrel and Blucher were the only ones to ever go to the Forbidden Island and live. Blucher is extremely wealthy. He owns a giant airship, the Sulphur Bottom, that this press conference is located. The plan is to take the press to the Forbidden Island and uncover the legendary treasure, the Mother Lode. Teasel, Tron, Glide, and Claymore are all working together to swoop in and steal the treasure. Why they would ever want to work with Glide after the events in the Misadventures of Tron Bonne, I can't understand. But apparently they're hard up for cash. They own a failing department store. Isn't Glide supposed to be in prison? Anyway. Professor Barrel is asked a question by a reporter. He instantly recognizes she looks exactly like his daughter that went missing with her husband, attempting to get to Forbidden Island.
And you, Professor? Tell me, what do you think?
Well, I think... Matilda! You're alive!
Before Barrel can ask any questions, she's discovered as an intruder. The mysterious woman dodges all the bullets and jumps out the window. She does warn them that what they call the Mother Lode isn't a treasure at all.
I'll give you this warning. What you call the Mother Lode is not what you think it might be. No, it's not a treasure at all. It's a catastrophe waiting to happen.
Don't move. Stop! Hold your fire! Cease fire!
Roll and Mega Man witness the whole thing on TV. They jump straight into action to find out if this woman is really Roll's mother. I'll save the rest of the story for the spoilers at the end. I will say this, the game definitely answers questions, and there are a lot of great characters, new and old. The crew only consists of 3 for this adventure: Mega Man, Roll, and Data. Data is still running ahead of you and acting as the save point. The first action you'll see is a fire on the Flutter. This acts as your combat tutorial. Apparently Data started a fire while trying to make a pizza. Is it Data or Data? I'm pretty sure this isn't Star Trek.
Data, look at this.
Data.
That's not what's important. What's important is the gameplay. Pretty sure it's Data. The main questline revolves around Mega Man collecting 4 keys from the island surrounding Forbidden Island. It's just a lot of stuff happens along the way, and a lot of stuff happens after you get the 4 keys. If you want to hear more about the story, I'll recap the whole thing in the spoilers. Traveling in the Flutter is easy. Just move the cursor and select the destination. So not much to talk about here. Mega Man controls great with dual analogs. Running around feels so much smoother than the first. Since the game uses a second analog for camera movement, the game holds up really well. Firing Mega Man's trusty Buster is his main form of attack. This starts off pretty weak, but you get new Buster parts. It can get a lot stronger. Quite a few of the enemies get very bullet spongy though. Locking on can get a little weird, sometimes just snapping to something else. Enemy variety is definitely there, bringing back enemies from the first game and introducing new ones. One huge negative is just how bullet spongy so many enemies are. Not really difficult, just annoying. My Buster had max attack power and high rapid around 2/3 through the game, and I encountered quite a few enemies that took so many shots to destroy. Then some just pop instantly. You never know. I'm just kidding, you can usually tell. Bosses for the most part are some of the best parts of the game. Minus the battle with Tron Bonne. You have to shoot him one shot at a time if you don't have to pay for destroying the town's very important gold statue. A lot do fall to the run, jump, and side strafe tactic, but then some really make you change things up. I won't show it yet, but the final boss took me 7 tries before I finally won. Keep in mind this is my first time beating this one. Difficulty works a little differently here. You start off with a B-class Digger's License. There are 3 classes, B, A, and S. At the Hunters Guild HQ you can take a test to be promoted to the next class. A and S both net you more Zenny from destroying enemies than B class, with S paying the highest, B basically being easy, A normal, and S hard. I finished the game with an A license. Most of the game's action take place in dungeons called gates. This time around they're going to take some time to get through. They definitely gave me Ocarina of Time vibes, especially the underwater dungeon. I can't think of any underwater dungeon I've ever enjoyed. You have the very common water, fire, and ice dungeons. These have decent length. The few that were in the first were incredibly short. There are also a few subgates. These are smaller optional dungeons. I've always really liked optional content. There are also random battles when running around the islands. Reaver bots just pop up from the ground. It's similar to Kingdom Hearts if you've ever played that. With legends taking place across multiple islands, there are a few towns. None of these have the feel or size of catalogs from the first game. No cars driving around or anything really like that. They don't really feel very lived in. There are shops in all the towns, but man is everything expensive in this game. Don't expect to have any power-ups from the first game either. Roll sold all of it. New upgrades are a necessity to make it through the game. Sub-weapons are another staple of Mega Man. These have the potential to be stronger than your Buster, but are extremely expensive to upgrade. I had to find out if there was a good spot for grinding cash because I didn't have enough money to get through the fire dungeon. Needed extremely expensive shoes to handle the heat on some of the floors. Now there is a grinding spot earlier in the game, but still, was this just to pad everything out? I mean, honestly, I beat the game in 14 hours even with all this grinding. The town's prices of items and upgrades are definitely spots in the game I didn't like. The small towns have little character, and one of them you're supposed to help rebuild, but it's through trivia challenges. Now personally I enjoy history. I study history on a regular basis, but these are some difficult questions. This is real-world history, not Mega Man history. Math, science, and pop culture are other subjects. But honestly, this isn't why I play Mega Man, so yeah, their town never got rebuilt. Missions return. These aren't anything groundbreaking, but they change the game up, keeping things interesting. The one on the train is pretty cool. Another thing I didn't like was that there wasn't more of Tron and her serve bots in the game. I know they just got a whole game to themselves, but man are they great characters. And the Misadventures of Tron Bonne is actually one of my favorite games of all time.
Mega Man, are there more pirates there?
Yeah, but, they're, acting kind of, funny.
Funny? What do you mean funny? Just what's so funny about me, huh? What do you think is so funny?
Nothing, I just...
What about you? I see you're still letting that second-rate mechanic boss you around. You're the one who's funny if you ask me.
Mega Man Legends 2 looks a lot better than the first. The game keeps its bright colors, and there's still heavy attention to detail. The game has an anime feel to it, or a Studio Ghibli movie. Honestly, I think about Castle in the Sky a lot while I've been playing through the series. Character animation is good, and character models are better looking than most PS1 games. It still has a very clean style that has aged well. Cutscenes are well animated. There are quite a few of them. There's about an hour and a half of cutscenes. I know I was ripping on the towns earlier, but that doesn't mean they look bad. Ruminoa City is interesting. It's a city built on top of the Nino ruins. The city is more of a fortress, and is where the Diggers Guild is located. While the islands are smaller, the game does a great job of making the world feel grand. Character and enemy design are very creative. The main characters have some small changes to their appearance, but for the most part they're the same. So many new characters appear in this one, and they all have interesting designs. Reaver bots seem to be a lot more animal inspired. I kinda like this and made for some different types of battles. For the most part, returning Reaver bots have had a graphical facelift. There's a room in the Flutter you can decorate, Roll's room, by giving her gifts. You can read her diary too.
Oh, what are you doing with my diary?
Camera angles changed in building interiors. It was a little clunky in the first game, but I enjoyed the closer look at the rooms. I can see why they did this, and it's an improvement. I definitely like the soundtrack much better than the first. Dungeons have music. There are a couple that still have the ambient sounding dungeons. There are quite a few catchy tunes in Legends 2. Nothing I really wanted to listen to outside of the game though. Voice acting is good. Most of the original cast returned. One very important character was recast, Mega Man. If you've ever watched Sailor Moon, this is the same actress that did Sailor Jupiter's voice, Susan Roman. All I ever hear is Sailor Jupiter every time Mega Man opens his mouth. There's nothing wrong with her acting, she was just miscast in my opinion. Mega Man was stuck with a high-pitched voice in most of his appearances.
Hey, Zaz! Why must I fight you? We are not enemies!
Shut up!
Once again, I really love Tron's character. Carly Larson definitely gets the best performance in my book. Mega Man Legends 2 is a hell of a good time. The dual analog control is so much smoother than trying to use the D-pad. The final dungeon really feels like it drags on forever. There are a lot of answers about Mega Man in Legends 2. Unfortunately, I doubt we'll ever get a conclusion to this story. Mega Man Legends 3 was in development for the 3DS, but was cancelled shortly after Keiji Inafune left Capcom. Okay, now on to the spoilers! Okay, where we last left off, Mega Man Roll were gearing up to find out who this woman was. Well, she decided to shoot down the sulfur bottom, so now it's up to Mega Man Roll to rescue Professor Barrel. Turns out Roll has her dad's old blueprints for a dropship to get to Forbidden Island. Both of Roll's parents went missing on an expedition to Forbidden Island.
Roll! The sulfur bomb is being sucked into that storm!
Gramps!
What should we do?
We can't take the flutter in there. And we're almost out of fuel. We'll have to set down on a nearby island. We can figure out what to do then.
That's not the first time they've left a flub line in a Mega Man game.
Energy immediately, Mega Man.
So they land on Kalinka and go straight to the junk shop with the blueprints. Turns out there's a guy in town named Joe that not only already built one, but he also knew Roll's dad. And of course he lost his memory. They help him out and he lets them use the dropship. They use the dropship to get past the storm. When he lands, Mega Man's in the middle of a blizzard. He ends up destroying a giant elephant reaver bot that stops the storm around the island. He then saves a couple of green-haired people. The girl seems to know what the mother lode is and actually wants to open it. They all board the sulfur bottom. The Bonds are listening in on the conversation about how to unlock the mother lode. Mega Man is then tasked with collecting 4 keys from the ruins on the nearby islands. The first of these is Amanda Ruins. When he gets to the destroyed town, Tron is there. She starts off trying to get Mega Man to ditch Roll and join up with her.
You're looking as good as ever. Well, as good as you can, considering how that good-for-nothing blonde treats you.
What you mean?
When I ran into Miss Blondie, she told me all sorts of things. Like how she's glad she doesn't have to go out on digs with you. Do you think that's fair? She gets to relax while you run around getting shot at.
Mega Man doesn't fall for it. He then battles Tron. Mega Man defeats Tron and is able to get back in contact with Roll. Tron was blocking her signal. Tron then runs off, but not before hearing how happy Mega Man and Roll seem.
Guess what's for dinner, Mega Man? It's your favorite, pizza.
Really? It's been a while since we had that.
Uh-huh. I even managed to find some pepperoni.
Can't have a pizza without pepperoni.
Okay. Right.
Look at him. Talking with her like they don't have a care in the world. Made a fool of me again. You...
What is it, Mega Man?
Oh, nothing.
That's why he's the MVP! That's why he's the GOAT!
I felt bad for Tron here. Ah, well, we got a world to save. Mega Man then heads into the gate. Bola, one of the pirates teaming up with the Bonds, is after the same key.
Huh? Did you say something, Claymore?
Did you say something, Claymore? Get with it, Bola. We might be the ones to find the mother lode. Doesn't that mean anything to you?
No, not at all.
Fairly early into the ruins, Mega Man runs into Bola.
Hi there. What's up? You're that digger called Mega Man, aren't you? Hey, what are you looking at me like that for?
He then defeats Bola, and Bola shows up again.
I'm back.
Bola then tries to give Mega Man advice after being defeated again.
Enjoy your youth while you can, but develop your skills, because your speed won't last forever. Oh, what do you care? You're not even listening anyway, are you? Later.
I like Bola. I understand Bola. Oh, and earlier, that joke about Mega Man being the MVP? Don't play with people's hearts. It's a terrible thing to do. Wait, what do you care? You're not even listening to me anyway. Mega Man makes his way through the Manda Gate, defeats the Guardian, and collects the first key. Bola showed up and told Mega Man how to get the key. He actually seemed to take a liking to Mega Man. Mega Man then heads to Nino Island, which is more like a gate with a heavily armed fortress on the top. Pirates have been attacking trying to get to Nino's gate. When the Flutter shows up, they attack them thinking they're pirates.
Huh? Those
Those aren't pirates!
Glide's forces are the ones attacking. Mega Man helps the town fight them off. The mayor then asks our boy to help destroy Glide's base. He does so, then heads into the gate in Nino. Claymore, Bola's friend, is also in the ruins. He attempts to steal the key when Mega Man gets it. Mega Man defeats Claymore.
Well, there's still some fight left in this old man. My back. Ow, 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 ow. I can't move. Help me. Somebody, help me.
I thought I was supposed to be your partner, not your nursemaid. We're willing to call it a draw if you are, boy. Come on, Claymore, let's go.
Oh, if it weren't for my back, I'd have wiped up the floor with them, I tell you.
Yeah, whatever you say.
Next off to Salcata Island. When Mega Man arrives, Tissot Bonne and the Servbots are already attacking Kimotoma City. Mega Man battles his way through the city and defeats Tissot Bonne. This fight was really slow, since I didn't want to destroy the statue and Tissot was defending himself with it. It was one shot at a time. Mega Man then descends into the island's gate. He encounters a gigantically huge Reaver bot. He's not able to damage it, so he continues down a different path and sees Tron and Bonne.
It must be really solid if even you can't knock it down. If we could just get that rock to fall, we could probably get the lava to stop. We've got to hurry though. Teasel says Mega Man's already here. True. It's just that I don't want to see him right now, you know what I mean?
Mega Man then teams up with the Bonds to stop the lava flow to the massive Reaver bot. Mega Man defeats it and then heads for the key. I really like this a lot, seeing the Bonds and Mega Man team up together. It was pretty cool. Too bad it doesn't last long. Bonne flies past Mega Man and grabs the key. Mega Man has to go around, and Tron is waiting for him. Mega Man defeats her again, and this happens.
What? Why is your face red? Why is everyone looking at me that way?
Miss Tron, your clothes have been kind of ripped up. Actually, your clothes are gone.
Retreat! Retreat!
Roger!
Mega Man!
Huh? What?
He reminds me of George McFly here.
What was it, George? Bird watching?
What, Lorraine? What?
Mega Man then goes after Bonne and gets the key. Don't worry, he's okay. There's just so many movie references. Now it's time for the final key. Pirates are already attacking the town that the gate is in. Good thing is Tissot fired an experimental cannon and the refractor on the train is burned out. Claymore and Bola both decide to quit the hunt for the keys. Mega Man goes to see Joe again and gets the key to a weapon of Joe's and uses it to go after the Bonds and Glide. The Bonds then cut Glide's car from the train.
What do you think you're doing? I'll get you for this, Tissot!
Mega Man defeats the Bonds and then makes his way into the icy gate holding the final key. He's able to get the last key, and now it's time for them to open the mother lode. Okay, now here's where things get crazy and a bit convoluted, but I'll do my best to continue to summarize. The keys react to each other, being in such close proximity. Then the green-haired girl, Sarah, takes control of the sulfur bottom. It catches on fire. The Bonds then show up. Tron's worried about Mega Man. Also, the woman that looks like Roll's mother, Yuna, is also on the ship. Yuna took the body when she left her original one. Yuna and Sarah are at odds with each other. Yuna doesn't want the mother lode opened. Yuna explains that what they call the mother lode is actually known as the carbon reanalyzation program. This will destroy everyone on the planet, restoring the ancients to take the planet back. We'll get to these ancients soon. Yuna and Sarah are both pretty much like Mega Man, basically androids designed to serve the master. Geets, the green-haired guy from earlier, is transformed into a golden flying robot. He plans to destroy the sulfur bottom. Tron convinces Tissot to help Mega Man. They do help in battle, but are shot down. Mega Man then defeats Geets, but he's damaged himself. Mega Man suddenly has a memory of the Master. The Master was actually the last human left. The people that Mega Man has been living with on the planet aren't humans. They were created by the Master and are called carbons. So yeah, those ancients are us. Well, at least the humans of that world, at least. The carbons aren't very much different from the humans, though. The Master started to admire the carbons. He no longer wanted to use the carbon reanalyzation program. However, for some reason, Sarah had some power over the Master when it comes to this. The Master told Mega Man that Sarah scolded him for having such thoughts. The Master asks Mega Man to take him to Terra so he can see how the carbons live up close. The Master gave Mega Man his final order to destroy the system, then passed away. He couldn't survive very long on Terra.
Carry out. my final command. I want you to destroy the system. I realize now that we were wrong.
Yuna was the one helping to restore Mega Man's memory. With Yuna fully understanding what the Master wanted, she gives Mega Man the choice to use the system or destroy it. I didn't get to choose anything. Yuna, Gats, and Mega Man all prepare to leave Terra and head to the moon where Elysium is located. Gats is the bird robot that Yuna was riding. The other characters seem to be taking this revelation all really well, completely fine with leaving their fates in Mega Man's hands. Also, they were made by some dude on the moon. Right before leaving, Yuna tells Mega Man how much Roll cares about him.
She was quite worried while you were unconscious and kept asking if there was anything she could do. She looked desperate. She probably would have done anything. Anything I told her to. If she thought it would have helped to bring you back.
Then they depart. When they arrive on Elysium, Yuna takes over as Mega Man spotter. That's what Roll does. I think I forgot to mention that. This place took forever. Nice thing is, right before you face the final boss, you can head back to the planet. It's a very long run back to the shuttle though. This gives you a chance to grab anything you might need from the junk shop, or finish up any side quests you might want to complete. Mega Man makes it to the room where the carbon reanalyzation program is. He then goes to turn it off, but the system says it's paused. Sarah then appears.
Perhaps by defeating you, who is so sympathetic to the Master's desires, I can purge myself of these troublesome emotions.
After defeating her first form, Sarah transforms. The first form wasn't the hard one.
Shall we continue?
Yeah, this is the part I was having a hard time with. After finally being completely defeated, Sarah sees why Mega Man was so special to the Master. Yuna then appears with her old shell and asks Sarah to transfer over to it. Now that the three of them are friends, they realize they're stuck on the moon. Mega Man says not to worry, Roll will save them.
I'll think about it, once we figure out a way to return to Terra.
So what are we going to do, Mega Man? If we can't get back to Terra, then I can't give Roll her mother back.
Is that the only thing you're worried about?
Don't worry, Yuna.
Why?
I know Roll. She'll come looking for us, no matter what happens.
After the credits, we see a rocket failing to get out of the atmosphere. Teasel then says that he thought this would be easy since Data was able to return to Terra with the knowledge of the Ancients' technology. It's not the monkey's fault.
Like this, it just might solve the problem. It's really simple, really simple. If you would just listen to me, I could show you. See, look here. You stay out of this, Data. We need to make the cargo hold smaller. We can save space and make it lighter that way. It doesn't matter. With this new amazing engine I designed, we will have more than enough power. Your engine? I'd believe you if your engines weren't made from spare parts and needed to be adjusted every 5 minutes. Not everybody has tons of money to build your kind of engine. If you don't use the proper... Sorry, Mega Man, but it looks like you might be stuck up there for a little while more. Looks like we both got our work cut out for us. How dare you? Anyway, I wonder how Mega Man's doing. We have to get this thing working so we can go get him.
Whew! That was a lot to cover. Mega Man Legends 2 is a really great game with a fun and interesting cast of characters. So that's all 3 games in the Mega Man Legends series. Now, this is the first time I've ever done a whole series review. I've never done anything like this before. Well, please let me know what you think. And if you have any memories of any of these games, please leave them in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching and taking time out of your day to watch my video. I really do appreciate it. And I mean, if you stuck with me this long and you already watched this whole hour-long video, like, you know, what are you doing? Why don't you just subscribe? You obviously like watching me. I like watching me too. Everybody have a great day. Thank you again. Peace.
It's gonna be out by November.